Lead generation is the most important thing for any business. There are no two ways about it. Irrespective of the platform that you're using, whether you're working on Google ads, whether you're working on Facebook ads, whether you're working on any goddamn platform, whether you're paying or not paying, what is important are leads for the business. Now let's try and define what a lead is first. A lead is somebody who goes from being a visitor on your website to being a customer, and anybody who has gone through this journey, the ups and downs of the journey, and finally converted for you, whether it is a purchase, whether he has signed up for you, whether he has done anything that you have decided for him to be doing on the website. If he has done that, he becomes a lead. Now, in this process, it is very important that, now take Pareto's principle, for example. Pareto's principle states something very, very simple. 20% of the leads that you get for your business generate 80% of the revenue. Now, 20% of your effort in your life is what is yielding you 80% of the results. Now, it's very important for you to identify those 20% of the things that you're doing right for you to attain an output of 80%. And the same is applicable for lead generation in your business also. Now, when you're generating about 1,000 leads, and if you're making, let's say, $1 million in sales, now all these thousand leads are not contributing to your revenues in a uniform fashion, right? Now, there are some people who are spending more. There are some people who may be spending less. There are some people who may be spending average. Now, if you look at the overall thing, I'm very sure that there are 20% of the people who contribute to the 80% of the revenue of the role. Now, it's your job and my job to figure out who are those 20% of the people who are contributing that. And we need to focus on them, which means we need to focus on the right leads for us to go ahead, profitable leads, for us to go ahead and give them the attention that they deserve so that they will convert for us. Now, that is exactly where lead scoring comes into picture. Now, let's try and understand what lead scoring is. Lead scoring is a process of assigning score to your leads based upon certain parameters that you think are right, assigning scores to those parameters, and then deciding the overall score of a particular lead. Once you arrive at these scores for your individual leads, that is when you decide what to focus, whom to focus upon, what tweaks are needed in your Google Ads campaign or your paid campaigns, and then that is when you go ahead and decide which leads to focus upon and how do you maximize those those kind of leads to be generated is what the process talks about. It's a very simple process. It's a very simple definition, by the way. You need to identify the scores that you need to assign for activities that are most important for you in generating the conversion, calculating the overall score, then lets you know what things that you supposed to focus upon so that you can capitalize on those things to make sure you focus on leads which matter to you and which are scored high based upon your priorities. This is not the same for every business. Every business will have their own different parameters and factors that they need to evaluate, and that is when everybody has a different lead scoring approach. Lead scoring is of two types. One is a manual lead scoring process and the other one is a predictive lead scoring process. Manual lead scoring is as simple as going back to the basics, to the blackboard, to an Excel sheet, listing down your leads from your Google ads that you have generated, export the Google ads lead generation sheet, open the sheet up, look at what the parameters are like web engagement, leads, form fills, etc. Assign what score you think is relevant for your business, calculate the overall score, decide what kinds of leads are performing for you, make tweaks for those leads. This is manual scoring. Predictive lead scoring is where it gets interesting, because this is where AI and ML algorithms come into picture. They look at your data, they look at patterns, they look at huge sets of data and the historical performance of your ads, your marketing activities. They decide, they take inputs from you about what scores have to be assigned. They automatically assign scores, and finally they tell you what is working and what is not working so that you will know exactly what to focus upon when it comes to your marketing. Now, that is a discussion for another day because we would be delving deep into how predictive lead scoring works. But on the outset, we do optimizations. As far as I know, 70 to 80% of the marketers, what they do is they do something called as optimization. But we misunderstand that to be lead scoring. We misinterpret the activities that we are doing as lead scoring, and we complain that we're doing everything, but still the leads are not enough, right? So what you need to be doing is not optimization. You need to be doing lead scoring, and you need to introduce lead scoring into your funnel. The first thing that you ever need to do is to define your lead score criteria. What is the criteria that you're going to score leads? What are the activities that you're going to be scoring? what are the activities involved in the process of your customer becoming a lead. Once you have defined the criteria, then you will export your lead data generated from your Google ads. This session is only going to be revolving around paid ads, whether you're running paid ads on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Bing, YouTube, wherever, and you're generating leads. You need to export that lead sheet into an Excel sheet, and this is a manual lead scoring process, right? Once you have exported the Google ads, with the leads from the Google ads sheet, you will create a lead score table. Now, once you have created the lead score table, you will calculate the actual lead score, and then you will start analyzing the results. Once you have analyzed the results, you will get to know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. You will make those modifications so that you will define your lead score again. And this is a cyclic process, and this is how lead scoring methodology works, right? Now, when you start looking at defining lead score criteria, now this is your lead score criteria. What are the elements or what are the activities that you're going to measure? Website engagement, email opens, email clicks, time spent on the page, form fills. This is just a random example, but you will know what events matter to you when you are running a business and when you're running ads on Google. If I am an e-commerce company, I will get to know the pages visited. I will get to know time spent on the website. I will get to know things like how many offers that he has clicked on, what sections is he clicking on, etc., etc., etc. How many people came to the checkout page. So if somebody has come to the checkout page, and if he has not made a purchase, now that is a valuable customer for me. So that guy would be scored high, then I'm going to assign a great score to this guy than to somebody who has just visited my website. If there is somebody who is visiting my website 10 times, 20 times in the last 1 week, that means there is something he is bothered about, and I will give them a score that replicates the same behavior, that conveys the same meaning. So that means that he's coming repeatedly, which means he's of some value to me. I will assign a score accordingly to that. Once you have identified what your criteria is that you're going to use to calculate lead scores, the next step is exporting Google Ads data. Right? All the lead data that you have collected from your Google Ads lead campaigns or lead generation campaigns is, once you have the data, you will start exporting the data. Once the data typically contains the name of your lead, the location is coming from, maybe the source is coming from, the value of that lead, how many conversions has this particular lead had. Now, if there are 20 conversions, that doesn't mean you get 20 leads. Now, how many people convert from those conversions, or when you call them, when the sales team follows up, is the actual number of leads, right? All right. So once you have exported the lead data, you need to create a lead score table. This is what I mean. Now, do you remember the criteria that we have defined? Our criteria is going to be web engagement, time spent on the website, email opens, and form fills, right? Now, these are the different platforms. On the search network, on the display network, if these are the activities somebody is performing, if somebody has performed this activity on the search, I'm going to assign them a score of 5. If somebody has spent anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes on my website, I'm going to give them a score of 8. If somebody has opened an email or clicked a link on the email, then I'm going to give him a 10. If somebody has filled a form, which is most valuable activity to me, I would probably give him a 15 or a 20. So this is where I define my lead scores, right? Now, once this is done, this is where it gets interesting. Once this is done, you need to calculate the final lead score. Now, there are 20 people who have come to my website, 20 leads have come to my website, and all of them have opened their website. So now 20 into 5 points per web engagement activity is a score of 100. Now, there are 20 people who have come to my checkout, to the form fill page, right? 20 leads have finished the form fill activity. Now, form fill activity, I'm going to assign him a 20. 20 people have done 20 people have filled the form, which means 20 into 20 is my lead score, which is 400. Now, that means I need to focus more on those. Once I have calculated the lead score, I will start going ahead and analyze them, right? And then I will pass on the learnings to this stage where everything starts from the beginning again. So now let's zoom out and see the whole activity in one piece. This is exactly what it is. So your whole activity, your core activity is this, where you define your lead score, then export your Google Ads data, define your lead criteria, calculate your lead score, analyze results, and rinse and repeat. Each of these stages will involve these activities so that you can calculate your lead score. And please remember that we have only spoken about manual lead scoring mechanism here. We have not spoken about lead scoring using predictive metrics yet. This is just to give you an understanding of how you do lead scoring for paid ad campaigns on Google and Facebook, etc., by just using an Excel sheet. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm here to help you out or to answer any questions that you may have. My name is KC. As always, ciao.